Speaker, I rise to oppose this motion for the following three reasons. Reason number one, the senator for Mombasa, Senator Mohamed Faki, wrote 2 letters to the relevant committee for the committee to consider amending Standing Order 195 that talks about the membership of the Delegated Legislation Committee. In his argument, Senator Faki gave comparative jurisdictions, the United Kingdom and Australia, all of which fall within the Commonwealth. His argument was that statutory instruments originate from the government of the day. The duty of the Delegated Legislation Committee is to oversight and to confirm that those statutory instruments have stood the test that has been prescribed in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this was a very reasonable request by Senator Faki. It was supported by the signatures of 18 senators. What did the committee chaired by the chair do? The committee did not even invite Senator Faki to explain himself and to give the background to that proposed amendment. Mr. Speaker, it is unfair for a member to go out of his way and to get 18 senators in support and to make such an elaborate argument, Mr. Speaker, and then that matter is dismissed without a hearing. The second reason why I oppose this motion, Mr. Speaker, is that this motion attempts to amend Standing Order 22 and 23. Mr. Speaker, if it is not broken, don't fix it. Who complained about Standing Order 22 and 23? We have spent almost 1 month in this House, Mr. Speaker, fighting and telling the Speaker to communicate on the changes on leadership on the minority side. Mr. Speaker, this amendment is making the Speaker a player in the process. You are saying in this amendment that the Speaker shall verify the correspondence received. What is verification? Is it to check whether the signatures are correct? Does the Speaker have the capacity to do that? The Speaker is becoming a player in political party leadership issues. And then it goes further and says, and deliver a communication to the Senate within 3 sitting days. A deliberate plot to allow people to go to tribunals, to go to the High Court, and to go to the street, and to seek all sorts of recourse to frustrate whatever is happening in the House. Mr. Speaker, I oppose the amendment to Standing Order 22 and 23 because in the records of the report of the committee, nobody complained about it. Why are you fixing something that is not broken? Why are you bringing the Speaker to be part of decision-making of coalition leadership? The third reason why I oppose this motion, Mr. Speaker, is that there was a presidential memorandum. And that memorandum was dated 9th of December 2022. And Mr. Speaker, on this I must turn my guns on the clerk of the Senate. The clerk of the Senate sets up a task force to consider the presidential memorandum without a resolution of the House, without direction of the chair, without resolution of any committee, without prompting by any member on this floor. Mr. Speaker, we have been here for the last 3 terms of the Senate. Every time the position of the clerk of the Senate is being whittled away through amendments to the Parliamentary Service Commission Act, it is we, the senators, who have come together without being partisan to protect our clerk. I want to urge the clerk not to be a player in this political contest. Mr. Speaker, I take great exception that the clerk could set up a task force to look into the presidential memorandum. Mr. Speaker, a presidential memorandum is post facto. In the last parliament and when Uhuru Kenyatta was president, memoranda used to be issued after parliament had passed a law, not as a prompt for parliament to amend its procedures. Mr. Speaker, even if we vote and this matter passes, I can tell you that this will be the theater of the absurd. With the cabinet secretary sitting here, they will regret why they say they should come to this House, because we shall deal with them properly. They will be coming here not as members of parliament, and they will have to be subjected to the rules of debate and the rules of the House. Mr. Speaker, my final concern, Mr. Speaker, is the manner in which the Speaker attempts or wants to contain or censor questions. Mr. Speaker, if you look at proposed amendments 51, A, B, C to D, the Speaker becomes a censor. The Speaker becomes a person who threatens the freedom of expression and the freedom of speech in this House. Mr. Speaker, we've got parliamentary privileges. You should not be the